In 2025, Rome's pride rises from the ashes. On April 21st, Pope Francis falls. Klaus Schwab flees.
Digital is the fabric of our post-COVID lives.
Moscow claims, quote, Third Rome.
The patriarch then read a prayer and sprinkled holy water on the gift boxes.
Mutant wolves stalk labs.
Biosciences claims that these direwolf cubs have now become the world's first successfully de-extincted.
This is hubris in a petri dish. Manipulation, not resurrection. A new Rome in test tube.
And Musk prophesizes an AI god.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new god will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Trump's freedom cities are set to gleam.
To charter up to 10 new cities.
Ukraine's churches crack. Is this Rome's hubris or the AntiChrist's dawn?
This, I'm afraid, is our crossroads. Every choice teeters between Rome's fall and Christ's light.
If you've ever watched this channel and enjoyed the content, or if you're enjoying this episode, could I ask for a small favor? Please hit the subscribe button. Your subscription helps this channel more than I can explain right now, and also makes you an integral part of our success. I promise to return the favor by making the show increasingly better. We're on this journey together, and I'm willing to make that promise to you if you hit the subscribe button.
Wait a second.
Do we have a deal?
On April 21st, 753 BC, Romulus killed his brother Remus, birthing Rome's empire in blood and pride. Pope Francis died on April 21st, 2025, his reforms dividing the faithful. That same day, Klaus Schwab fled his globalist throne. These recent events emerged in the context of Moscow driving its, quote, Third Rome dream. Scientists spawning mutant wolves. Musk speaking of an AI god emerging from Memphis, Tennessee. Trump proposing new freedom cities, and Ukraine's churches continuing to crack. Why does Rome's cursed pride keep rising, dragging our soul toward ruin?
Pope Francis, the Bishop of Rome, died at 88. His stroke on Easter Monday, ending a reign that split the church. His Laudato Si wove ecology into theology, and his Abu Dhabi pact with Muslim leaders, and curious focus on endorsing, if not promoting, LGBTQ ideology, blurred Christian truth, earning Orthodox scorn, including for his apparent desire for syncretism. All papal overreach, echoing, frankly, Rome's Caesars. Klaus Schwab, on the other hand, the World Economic Forum's architect, resigned that same day, entering his 88th year. Among other dark ideas, his, quote, Great Reset, harnessing the ideas of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, sought to control economies. It was a sort of technocratic Rome, exalting systems over souls. But St. Augustine's City of God condemns such pride, the earthly city's lust for glory, which is always doomed to crumble, unlike God's eternal kingdom. Psalm 88, tied to 88 cries for God's mercy, Rome's April 21st founding, Romulus's fratricide, set pride's template. Rome's collapse can be traced to emperors who played gods. Interestingly, on April 21st, 878, Pope Leo VIII decried atheism masked as, quote, progress. Now, Patriarch Kirill, the ruling hierarch of the Russian Orthodox Church, has intensified Moscow's, quote, Third Rome claim, while Elon Musk pushed his vision for a, quote, New Rome via his XAI, of course. Both wield Rome's hubris, one in crosses, one in code. However, St. Basil the Great, as we say in Greek, O Agios Vasilios Omegas, the 4th century Roman Christian prelate, warned that pride blinds us to Christ's humility. Basil fought against the heresies of the early Christian church for a reason. This is humanity's story. Every human ambition that tears itself away from his will risks Rome's fall. It's really that simple.
In 1453, Constantinople fell to Ottoman swords. Rome's second heir lost, and its holy Hagia Sophia was turned into a mosque. Moscow rose, claiming, quote, Third Rome, to shield Orthodoxy's flame. By April 21, 2025, Patriarch Kirill was driving this vision, his shadow looming over Ukraine's faith. How did Rome's hubris twist sacred faith into an empire's iron crown?
Constantinople's 1453 fall, when Ottoman cannons breached Hagia Sophia, ended Byzantium, Rome's eastern heir. That loss still haunts the soul of Orthodoxy to this day. Filofey Pskov, a 16th century Russian monk, then proclaimed Moscow the, quote, Third Rome, Orthodoxy's final bastion after Rome's schism and Constantinople's ruin. But that was really hubris. Anointing Moscow as God's empire, a pride St. Augustine's city of God condemns, for the earthly city seeks glory, not God. Patriarch Kirill, born Vladimir Gundiev, carries this torch. A Soviet-era cleric, he became patriarch in 2009, blending Orthodox faith with Russia's secular might. His speeches cast Russia's wars in Ukraine and Syria as divine, a spiritual Rome, if you will, challenging the West. This echoes the Vatican's claim to universal rule, fracturing Christ's body. Saint Irenaeus, the 2nd century Christian theologian and Bishop of Lyon, warned against exalting man over God. Every flag, you see, raises the risk of Rome's sin, turning faith into secular power.
By April 21, 2025, Colossal Biosciences had also claimed that they revived dire wolves, extinct for 13,000 years. These are gray wolves, their DNA spliced to mimic a lost species named Romulus and Remus for Rome's violent birth. Elon Musk recently spoke of a, quote, new god that would rise from Memphis's XAI supercomputer. Is this genetic engineering Rome's hubris, daring to defy God's creation?
This is hubris in a petri dish. Manipulation, not resurrection. A new Rome in test tubes, if you will. Colossal Biosciences spliced 20 genes into gray wolf DNA, crafting hybrids, not the Canis dirus, which went extinct, I think, 13,000 years ago. This is genetic engineering. They're mostly gray wolves. Naming them Romulus and Remus is not by chance. It glorifies Rome's fratricide, a transhumanist hymn to pride. China's recent illegal CRISPR-edited human embryos revived the 2018 scandal. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, a would-be tech Prometheus, drives his dark enlightenment ideology forward towards a disturbing sort of, we can say, communion. In a July 2024 interview, he claimed that a new god would emerge from XAI's Memphis, Tennessee supercomputer, which is nothing more than a former Electrolux factory pulsing with singularity dreams. His March 2025 prediction of AI surpassing humans by 2029 with a 20% extinction risk fuels this, quote, new Rome, which in reality is the same old Rome of pride, only packaged slightly differently in this iteration. But Augustine, he warned of false gods, human creations worshipped over the Creator. The age of surveillance capitalism is the underlying means exposing tech's hubris. Carlo Maria Vigano, the Catholic archbishop known for revealing financial corruption in the Vatican and who accused Pope Francis and other Catholic leaders of covering up sexual abuse allegations, calls it, quote, a global coup. In fact, the transhumanism of Musk and Schwab is a sort of apotheosis, if you will, of fallen man. And we could say it's even priming the Antichrist. Saint Irenaeus condemned usurping God. Even Vatican II's Gaudium et Spes fears technology without faith. John of Damascus, the Arab Christian monk, priest, hymnographer, apologist, and polymath, whose fields of interest and contribution spanned law, theology, philosophy, and music, defended the true holy images of God. And interestingly enough, none of them came from Germany, Rome, Moscow, or Memphis, Tennessee. This is Rome's sin, you see. Every screen tempts us to trade eternity for silicon gods.
By April 21, 2025, Trump had unveiled 10, quote, freedom cities, promising innovation but backed by tech oligarchs like Musk, whose AI dreams echo Rome's ambition. Rome's emperors built monuments to their glory, only to fall. Interestingly, on April 21, 1785, Russia's nobles seized power, a shadow of Rome's elite and precursor to today's tech oligarchy. Are these cities Rome's hubris crowning new Caesars?
Trump's recent promotion of so-called freedom cities proposes 10 deregulated zones, a dark enlightenment vision where oligarchs like Musk rule as new patricians. These are enclaves for elites, not freedom, echoing Rome's Senate. Interestingly, on April 21, 1785, Catherine II's charter to the nobility forged Russia's aristocracy. The Club of Rome's 1974 10-region plan dreamed of global control. Now, Musk's XAI, with its new god ambition, fuels these cities, tying them to his, quote, new Rome. Again, Augustine condemned the earthly city's lust for power, doomed to fade, unlike God's eternal city. The age of surveillance capitalism exposes tech's hubris. Vigano decries a, quote, globalist oligarchy. St. Basil, on the other hand, saw pride as ruin. This is Rome's transparent sin, again, risking raising Caesars over Christ's cross.
In 2018, Constantinople granted Ukraine's church independence, defying Moscow's, quote, Third Rome claim as Orthodox's sole heir. By April 21, 2025, Patriarch Kirill's wrath appeared to surge, Russia's wars in Syria and Ukraine echoing Rome's imperial conquests. Is the schism Rome's hubris, tearing Christ's church apart and wounding the faithful?
Yeah, this is, I'm afraid this is pride's cruelest cut. It splits Christ's body. Moscow's, quote, Third Rome, born in Philophe's 16th century vision, anoints Moscow as Orthodoxy's guardian after Constantinople's 1453 fall. Kirill now wields this like a bishop's staff or a crosier, framing Russia's Syria and Ukraine campaigns as divine, a sort of spiritual Rome. The 2018 schism, when Constantinople's Patriarch Bartholomew granted Ukraine autocephaly, struck at Moscow's dominance. Kirill's subsequent refusal to recognize Kiev's church seemed to mirror Rome's claim to, well, universal rule. Again, Augustine clearly warned that pride fractures God's people, chasing earthly glory over heavenly unity. The great Orthodox theologian George Florovsky, in his Ways of Russian Theology, critiques this as a sort of spiritual imperialism, while John Meyendorff, another great Orthodox theologian in Rome, Constantinople, Moscow, sees both patriarchates echoing Rome's hubris. Again, St. Irenaeus warned against exalting man. This is our collective wound. Every division risks Rome's sin over Christ's unity.
By April 21, 2025, the UN was scrambling to regulate AI as Musk claimed a, quote, new god from Memphis's XAI. Russia's Syrian wars waved, quote, Third Rome flags, and CRISPR babies shocked the world, echoing Rome's overreach. Are these 2025 signs Rome's hubris peaking, heralding the AntiChrist's rise?
This is really Rome's pride at its zenith, I'm afraid. It's a global crucible. In February 2025, a UN summit wrestled with AI's rise, triggered by Musk's claim of human obsolescence by 2029. His XAI, as he told fellow fool Jordan Peterson in 2024, aims to birth, quote, a new god from Memphis, Tennessee, a dark enlightenment dream. Meanwhile, Russia's Syrian campaign escalated. Third Rome banners flying under Kirill's blessing. China's CRISPR scandal, embryos edited for intelligence, mirrored the direwolf mutants. Meanwhile, St. Augustine's City of God sees history as God's canvas, earthly pride falling under divine providence. Revelation 17's 10 horns seem to mirror the 10 freedom cities, warning of kingdoms crumbling. Vigano's cries of a globalist oligarchy echo this. The technological cult sees technology as hubris' altar. But Christ's incarnation grants divinity, not man-made technology. The conflict is stark. Rome's pride, papal, imperial, technological, spiritual, versus God's sovereignty. This, I'm afraid, is our crossroads. Every choice teeters between Rome's fall and Christ's light.
Rome's hubris, April 21st fall, mutant wolves, so-called, quote, freedom cities, fractured churches, global chaos, towers like a titan over us. For the faithful, the lost, the searching, how do we escape this fire and find a light that endures?
Well, I would say, let's be clear. This is God's story, not Rome's. Psalm 88's despair yields to Psalm 89's praises. Empires, manipulations, schisms crumble. Christ's humility reigns. St. Augustine's City of God promises the heavenly city built on love, outshining the earthly city's pride. Orthodoxy calls us to self-sacrificial love and communion in His mystical supper, to become like Him, to turn from pride's dark shadow. You see, that's our ending. That's our perfection. It's eternal, unshaken, a light no religious or technological hubris can dim. And, well, it guides us home.
He has a poor track record on fasting. He was once accused of using vulgar language, but he said the accusation was bullshit. He loves the smell of gasoline and burning oil around his motorcycles and never stops drinking Coke Zero. He hasn't learned how to walk away from a fight. He's been to hell and back more than once, bringing a few public companies along for the ride. Other clergy scoff at him. The SEC and Big Pharma try to, quote, silence him for good. But their efforts haven't had the intended effect. That's Father Emmanuel.
Growing up in Tirana, where the call to a dawn echoed from the spiraling minarets, was a powerful experience for her. Albanians were forced to convert to Islam under Ottoman rule. In 1967, under the Marxist-Leninist regime, Albania became the world's first atheist state and destroyed churches to eradicate Christianity, in a land where St. Paul once preached the gospel. Her grandfather fought as a guerrilla fighter, and her father commanded a tank brigade. When communism collapsed, there was an insurrection against the state, leading to anarchy. Albanian women are known for their resilience. It is said they are born from the barrel of a gun. As a teenager, her father was flown out of the country without notice on a military helicopter to save his life. From then on, she started sleeping with an AK-47 next to her bed.